Yo, it is Puka. Hey, just wanted to reach out to you this afternoon, share some thoughts. Just got done with a monster skate. And speaking of sharing, go ahead, feel free to share this, especially your racing friends. Your racing friends are going to want to hear this because we've had one of the major racing series go Bush League on us, unfortunately. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit about that. But wow, how about all the racing we've had going on, huh? I mean, we've especially the late models. We've had Vado, we've had the Wild West Shootout. We get the Georgia, Florida swing, and as you know, we talk about this on the podcast. By the way, for those of you that are not listening, the One to Go show, you can get that all your podcasts, places you podcast with racing podcast. And now they're obviously they left East Bay. They're over in Volusia, but I do see both the Lucas and the World of Outlaws. Their schedule is kind of petered down now after this week, and both those series will be racing again in late March. But yeah, so kids, I got lots of kids. What's Bush League? Bush League is when when you make poor decisions and you're just real unprofessional. That's what we're talking about, Bush League here. And unfortunately, the World Racing Group made a Bush League decision, in my opinion. And I kind of want to address it because the World Racing Group is going to be in Grand Rapids on July 18th of this year. And so, before you guys get up here, I just want to let you know that this is hockey country and we use this term called Bush League. And so you might encounter some people, kind of jumping you about this decision. So I want you to know what Bush League was ahead of time. And as a business guy, I want to see you succeed. I'm a business guy. I want to succeed. You're a business. I want you to succeed because I love racing. And so I just want to kind of break this down for you because we don't want to see something like this happen again. So like I said, let me break this down. So what happens up here in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, Grand Rapids Speedway, about this time last year, I think they had a president that was kind of stealing and things were kind of falling apart fast. And they got some new energy in there, some new people. I think they had a great summer of 2019, and last fall, come November-ish, Grand Rapids reached out to World Racing Group and said, hey, we want to schedule a World of Outlaws late model race at our track. So great. So they take the cash. It's not like Grand Rapids is flush with cash. So they take some cash, they put it down, and they say, we're going to race on July 16th. And it's going to be July 16th on a Thursday in Grand Rapids, Friday the 17th, they will be out in Grand Forks. The 18th, they'll be down at Ogilvie. And the 19th, they will go to Red Cedar Speeder in Menominee. Perfect. Great. Okay. Then what happens is PRI comes around. About that time is when the World of Outlaws decide to release their schedule. So PRI comes around in early December. And what happens at PRI? Probably the biggest news, at least on the dirt front, was Dryden, who's got some cabbage and loves dirt track racing, obviously with the big move they made lately, says, we're going to throw some cash at Scott Bloomquist and Chris Madden, and they're going to join the World of Outlaw Series for 2020. Great. That's great. That's great news, because now the World of Outlaws is no longer the junior varsity series. Now they're moving up to the varsity ranks, because when let's face it, the World of Outlaw late models last year and the year before, they were the JV series, with the exception of Brandon Shepard and Ricky Weiss. Those two, they can win crown jewels. But if you're a betting guy and you're playing odds, you're not betting, pick someone in the top five. That Dennis Erb Jr., I don't even know if Dennis Erb Jr. won a World of Outlaw race last year, raced the whole series. I don't even know if he won one. You're not betting on him to win. He's not going to go to Knoxville this fall and win. You're not betting on Chase Youngins to go to Fairbury in the fall or in July and win, right? It's the JV league. Clanton has left. He's racing the Lucas now. We don't know what Lanigan's going to do now that he's got his new ride with, with Barry Wright. So, Grand Rapids puts up the cash when it's the JV league. And now Bloomquist steps on board. Who, let's face it, by far the most popular late model driver out there, Scott Bloomquist, right? It's not even close. He's got a Wikipedia page. The guy's a stud. He's got all the wins, right? He's got all the crown jewel wins, just a ton of wins in general. He's got the championships, a bunch of those in multiple series. He's got that kind of bad boy. He's been around for like 20 years. He's a bad mofo, right? I mean, that's kind of who the guy is. At least that's his brand, you know? And now he's done the chassis thing, and those have been successful. He's kind of, you know, can you say, like a car owner, like when Madden won the USA Nationals, who's on the victory lane like this with the number one? He's just like a car owner in NASCAR. You know, he's down there. And like Ryan from my podcast always says, all Scott Bloomquist has to do to be a promoter's dream is be Scott Bloomquist. There's no act. There is no act. The guy is who the guy is, and it's perfect. He's a promoter's dream. So along comes Superior, or the Godnick Law Superior in Superior, Wisconsin. Duluth Superior, for those unfamiliar, kind of one town, but they're separated by a big body of water. So we call it the Twin Ports. So all of a sudden they say, hey, Bloomquist's on board. We want a show. We want a show. I don't blame them. If I was a promoter, I'd want a show. Like I said, Bloomquist is a complete promoter's dream. So they reach out to World Racing Group, and all of a sudden, now, Grand Rapids, 2 days before the Grand Rapids, just 80 miles away, the World of Outlaws schedule a race in Superior. Bush League. Bush League. Like I said, Grand Rapids is not a big racing town. It's a fishing town. Like I said, we probably have more pro fishermen, pound for pound, per capita, in Grand Rapids, pro fishermen and guides than anywhere per capita. Okay, so you know, when Grand Rapids is putting this thing together, I have to assume, I'm not on the board or anything, but I'm looking at this thing from the outside because it's 4 blocks from my house. I want to see the race in Grand Rapids wildly successful because the race is 4 blocks from my house. Me and my kids and we can ride our bikes to the track. I hope it's a wild success, a great success. But now I'm starting to doubt things because of this Bush League move. 80 miles away. A show is 48 hours before Grand Rapids has now been scheduled. When Grand Rapids scheduled, they were counting on fans from Hibbing. Hibbing used to have a World of Outlaw race, another small market, so it was tough. They did it for a few years and they got rid of it. Because they're in a small market, it's tough. They're counting on some fans from Bemidji, which is west of here, to come in, and they're counting on a lot of Twin Ports race fans to come up. Well, now what's going to happen? They're going to have a race right in their backyard. Do you think they're going to come up 2 days later? I mean, Grand Rapids, you know, best case scenario with, you know, a good car count, a fantastic fan count, fantastic crowd, they were going to make a little bit of money. A little bit of money. I've run the numbers up and down, east and west, every which way. They're going to make a little bit of money. They have small grandstands. For those of you that have been there, you know what I'm talking about. This is a complete Bush League move by the World Racing Group. I mean, what is the deal with your drop dead date on this schedule? I mean, what do you wait until Mother's Day? Are you going to add a show maybe on Flag Day in June? You're waiting for the 4th of July or you know, Labor Day? Maybe you can stuff a couple shows in after Labor Day. Remember, the point, World Racing Group, of having your races is not to have the most races or many races. The point is to have successful races. It's just like right now we're in the primary season, right? The point is not to have a bunch of voters. I mean, if that happens, that's fine if everybody votes, but that's not the point, to have everybody vote. The point is to vote to get good government, okay? The point of these races, World Racing Group, is to have successful races. That means treat the drivers pretty well, they're happy. The promoter makes a little money. And most of all, the fan leaves happy. That's what's gonna grow the sport. That's what we need. We don't need Bush League's moves where you're pitting basically 2 tracks and the fans against each other. And now what happens with Superior? Now that they come in late, did they pay the same sanctioning fee or fee that Grand Rapids did? And Rapids did it when it was the JV league, and now that you got some varsity guys, did they have to pay a higher amount? I mean, I think Grand Rapids, I mean, I'm not a big subsidy guy, but if Grand Rapids loses their ass on this, I think World Racing Group, you owe them some sort of a rebate. Because like I said, they were loyal to you when you were the JV. Now that you're the varsity, everybody wants you. Charge Superior more, and maybe you can give them some sort of a rebate. I mean, you're picking on this little nonprofit club. You know, I hope you realize that. And you're this big conglomerate. Hey, I'm all for big conglomerate. I love Amazon. You got the 2-day shipping, now it's 1-day shipping. But it's like, and even subsidies to subsidize them back. It's, you know, I'm a capitalist, but, you know, you changed the chain. You moved the chains on Grand Rapids is what you did. You moved the chains. So you might owe them a little bit of a rebate, a little bit of a subsidy. Would you do this to Cedar Lake? I mean, I have a hard time believing that 2 days before the USA Nationals, you would schedule a show outside of Cedar Lake just 80 miles away. They would flip. The people at Cedar Lake would flip if you did that. And especially if you did it just kind of randomly. So, we're We're gonna pick a date here and we're gonna throw it in, or 80 miles away. Cedar Lake would flip. These guys are too small. I'm here to defend them. They're just too small to defend themselves. I'm here to defend them. This was a Bush League move by you guys at World Racing Group. A total Bush League move. Like I said, do things that are going to help grow the sport. All right? You probably owe Grand Rapids an apology. This is a complete Bush League move. And you're going to need to know it because, like I said, you might get jumped about it when you're up here. So World Racing Group said, don't be Bush League. Do things to help us grow the sport. And let's move ahead like that. All right. That's all I got. We'll catch you on the next pod.